You said you want to know the truth about what happened with Sushant. Because there were rumors flying around at the time that it wasn't suicide, it could be murder, and you wanted to know what happened to him. 3 years on, CBI hasn't moved a step forward in the inquiry, or at least not in the public domain. Do you still want to know the truth? And do you know the truth? What really happened to Sushant Singh Rajput? Why did a young man, seemingly destined for big things in Hindi cinema, commit suicide?
You know what the truth is? The truth is that mental health is not understood in this country at all. We are taking strides, and I'm happy that the youth is now talking about it, and India is moving forward in understanding mental health. But when someone who's famous has a mental health condition, people don't understand. They are like, he has fame, he has success, why is he depressed? I don't understand. Because the fact of the matter is, people are working their entire lives struggling for what? Two things, fame and money. So when they have somebody who has fame and money, but one second, he's depressed, तो मैं ये क्यों कर रहा हूँ या मैं ये क्यों कर रही हूँ? That's what not doesn't sit well with people. So mental health is completely misunderstood, or is slowly getting understood, I would like to say, and because of which it's very difficult for people to consume or digest the fact that someone who's rich and successful and famous could be mentally affected, could be depressed.
Did you know that? Do you still know the truth about Sushant? Did you know that he was mentally depressed at the time? And do you still know the truth of what took him to take his life, as many believe he did?
See, I could never know the truth of what took him to do what he did, because I don't live in his mind, contrary to popular belief. But I do know the truth about him being mentally ill. I do know the truth about what he was going through. And I'm hoping to hear the truth, and I think the agencies are doing their job, and in the right time, in the right place, they will give their verdict.
Because the fact is, you were accused of procuring and supplying drugs to him. That was the charge under which you went to jail. You spent 6 weeks in jail for that charge. Would you accept that you were, according to those who see you as a villain, exploiting his vulnerabilities in some way? Do you believe that you made certain mistakes at the time? Do you concede that you did supply drugs to him?
No. And secondly, I'm done with this topic. I don't want to talk about drugs. I don't want to talk about NCP. The matter is sub judice. I don't want to talk about CBI. Let the agencies do their job, and let us do our job, which is you talk to me about my emotional state and how the hell did I get out of that and sit on this chair today to have this conversation with you. How about that?
But the charge sheet is still there. Let's be clear, the charges are still there. Your passport is still impounded. There are lookout circulars that still exist. Your brother still is also battling it. He was also dragged into this. So it can't be that easy to say, let's not talk about it. It is still there somewhere in your life. The fact that you spent 6 weeks in jail, Baikala jail, accused of harboring and financing drug trafficking.
See, about harboring, I'll have to ask Pablo Escobar, but I believe he's no longer like amongst us. But the other stuff, I don't think that it affects anyone else's life but mine. I do have lawyers, and we are fighting it in the court of law, and we will get our verdict in the right time, and I will accept whatever verdict the court gives me in my case or in anybody else's case, because I'm an Indian citizen, and why the hell should I not?
What was it like, and I'll play those pictures of a young woman suddenly finding herself being hounded by cameras wherever she went, then eventually being taken to Baikala jail, where you spent, what, 6 weeks? Almost 6 weeks. What was it like for someone who came from a middle-class family, father in the army, an army doctor, suddenly finds herself in Baikala jail? So from aspiring to be a Bollywood actor, you're there in jail. Give us a sense of what that period was like.
Well, jail can't be easy. Interesting it is. It is very interesting because you are removed from society. You're no longer part of society. You're put into this place because you are no longer fit to be in society for whatever reason society deems you unfit. um, you are no longer a person, you are given a UT number. So there's a lot of disassociation with the ego, the I, the Atman as we call it in Hinduism, that you feel and you experience. You disassociate with the personality that you are born with or you create from 0 to 9 if we know in psychology. And you start viewing yourself as nothing. You are a number. You have to do as told. You have to eat when told. You have to stand when told. Um, and that in itself is a very humbling experience for anyone who goes through it. And I hope to God that no one in this room ever has to go through it, or no one in this world actually ever has to go through it. But in my case, there were goods and bads. There is a initial period in jail wherein you fall, you fall. It's like you're falling from the sky into an abyss of nothingness and there's just black around you and you don't know where you're falling. You don't know if you're going to come out. You start losing hope. You start losing touch with people outside. You start believing that people are fighting for you outside. You question all kinds of bizarre things. You think about, not wanting to live the life that you're living. But then there is a time came for me in jail wherein I learned a lot from seeing the women that I saw in prison. So I was in an under trial prison, Rajdeep, which is not convicted. People in under trial prison are not convicted. So they are still innocent, innocent until proven guilty. That should be the motto of the legal system in India. Innocent until proven guilty, not guilty until proven innocent. And I believe that anyone is innocent until then, unless the court passes a verdict that you are guilty. And you have exhausted all your 3 courts and you've reached Supreme Court and the Supreme Court has said that as well about you. So that's not happened in this jail for all the women in there and for me. So I believe they're all innocent. And I learned from them that some of them have been there for many years, 5 years, 6 years. Most of them don't even have access to lawyers, or they don't have a family support like I do who's fighting for them and trying to get them out. And they don't have media glare, which has its cons, but the pros is that your case will be seen, will be heard. There will be a time for your story to be told as well. In that situation, I saw women suffering far worse than me, being the happiest people I've ever seen. In the 1 or 2 moments of happiness that they got, it could be a festival where the jail was providing them samosas. The way they would eat that samosa, they would gobble that samosa with happiness and passion and desperation, and I've not seen a more stronger life force in any human being around me, not even enlightened gurus. And having seen that, I realized that, we chase, मैं ये film करूँगी, ये film hit होगी, तो मैं ऐसी गाड़ी खरीदूँगी, तब मैं खुश होंगी. It's rubbish. You are given a few moments of happiness in your life, snatch them. And that's what I learned from jail. I'm here to snatch it.